Welcome to Object-Oriented Game Design. Hello and welcome back to Game Design Part 8. Just trying to find some source code. I'll be right with you. Yesterday working on enemies. Right. And this is where we ended up yesterday. When my computer decides to run. I just created the res folder. Um, but I've not put the textures in yet or fixed the import. So yesterday we left it with red invaders, animated, moving, but really needing positioning better before we move on to the movement. Um, I want to do some patterns with these invaders, and maybe some triangles, maybe some circular attack formations. And I've done the gold and the green sprites ready to plug in when we do those or finish those classes off today. But before I'm going to start moving these gold um, and green invaders, I'm going to start stationary, position them how they are now, but in different patterns. I'm going to make a circle pattern, I'm going to make a triangle pattern, an upside down triangle pattern, and maybe even a diamond formation. All before I start them moving, because then when they're in their original positions, then they're just moving down the screen to attack. The little crop duster planer, they'll all form that same pattern. Don't know what's going on in the background now. We're still down to 15 to 20 frames a second, and if I run this on a different machine, I'm getting 64 frames a second and so many updates. But we'll figure out performance. Like I said, there's probably these clouds and the big images for the islands and that in the background. Alright, so on we go. And this is no longer version 5. If this is 7, this is running. This is actually 6. Keep forgetting to update that one. But we'll figure this out. So today will be 007. And that's the first line of code I'm going to change today. And I better get in the right class because it's in game. So 007 is the version. And I think we've figured out by now that the title of the game is Planes and Sources, or at least the stick-on tile, or the new stick-on tile. So we might as well plug that in as well. Planes and Sources version 0.0.7. And that is in today's 8 version, yeah, that's right. So it's closed yesterday's. Get rid of that. Fine, need the rest. Sprites, icon level. Copy. Close that. Over to the res and paste. That way we don't get any errors when we try and run it. We can't find the files. It's got it. I've added it to the source folders on the properties. Create a new folder, added it, and it's got the images in there, so should be able to find it. We have got a few errors in there, and I'm assuming they're to do with imports. So if I go to key import this part, it's not package 7 for game, it's package 8. And all these are going to need the same change. So there's key import done. Main menu, same. That's that one done. Screen and texture, 8. Package 8. Enemies, all of them. Okay, package 8. Package 8. Package 8. Package 8. Now imagine if you was in a team of coders and someone like me had made this mistake and kept doing package 1, package 2, package 3. You'd get really annoyed when you realize, I really need to change this sort of convention, but I should have changed it to start with. It really should just be game design, game. As far as the package name goes, it shouldn't have the package 8 on it. Now why has that not got a dot on? But everything else has. Game.design. Sure that's up. Yeah, refactor. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened though. But that would cause more errors than anything else, I think. Still background scanning now, so we have got a few errors. But yeah, they're all cleared up now. So I'll close them off. Strange. Followed the same convention I do every time I make a new one, and then on this occasion decided I want to be different. So that's got 8. Why has that got an error? Have I not saved it? Okay. Saying it's got an error down there. Player tip. Because we're not done player yet. Let's do player because we are going to change a few lines of code in player today. I want to try and create different forms of movement for different types of player character as well as the enemy characters. So we'll work in there today as well. Menu, package 8, save. Level. Don't need menu, we're not going to use that today unless we get time to add the options of the view menu. And these are going to be 8, but I might as well grab the package, save having to do that one. Alright, it's level. It's game design left, I think. Alright, why is it saying errors when they don't seem to be in it? As Houston once said, we have liftoff. Alright, so we're not using the graphics or the GUI or the input or the menu. So player, enemies, and the level class I really want to look at today. Maybe not so much the level, more the gold, green enemies and the player movement. Positioning and movement for these, and just movement for the player, or different types of movement for the player. Alright, so straight into that, let's get rid of that. Open the gold and the green, red for the reference, and in we go, just to show you that works with no errors at this point. As we were yesterday in game design part 7, 9007 version. Change the title to planes and sources. We need a new icon for PNS or PAS, whatever code name you want to give it. These waves and clouds are working quite brilliantly, but we need to work on positioning of these invaders and bring in intro, drum roll. I was working on some new sprites earlier. Already, yeah. So notice we've got a darker sea in the background there, and some storm clouds on the front. I've also done the island slightly darker as well to imitate low light. But I really need to change the outline on these islands from red to a dark color. I think I don't know what you call it, the layering style. It's like see-through or subtract of the blue. So whatever you put it on top of, you get this off color. We need to change that, make it more solid, I think. But yeah, do the new sprites. Take away the clouds. I've layered them on top of the old clouds. They're the dark islands. And we've got 3 sets of water. We've got the daytime one, got the nighttime one, and we've got a mid-range. Oh. So that should improve things as far as processing, maintenance. That should be good. We've got all these large images. Alright, as I was saying earlier, we have the golds. That's gold version 2. That's gold version 1. It's green version 2. And green version 1. But obviously we have to save these out. So let's do that right now. These are 128 by 128. We use these for the original reds. Not the original reds, but the second version of the reds. And they work pretty well, so keeping that 128 PNGs. Here comes the green ones. So working with the same naming convention, using the file names we had here, we better make these 3 and 3A. I know it's not the 3rd revision, but it's the 3rd version. Yes, 3 for the light colored one, with the light colored lines. Let's save that. And then go with the dark colored lights for the B. Again, 128 PNGs, 24 bit color, and that'll be 3A. Alright, save. We've done the green, let's do the gold. First one is that one. And these will be 4 and 4A. 128 PNGs. 4A, 128, 4A. So, should we do the new C as well? Better save that. Yeah, with the crop duster, I'm thinking of another character for a different level of a grasshopper helicopter. But I'm yet to draw that character out yet, so bear with me on that one. But speaking of the crop duster, we did have the two images for the crop duster. We've not set these out yet, so let's save these out as well. This will be image one of the crop duster, second version, 128 version. I can just find that out. So it's the same image as this. Forward 1, but it's going to be forward 2 and 2A. We're still going to scale it down, but it's going to be slightly more detailed because the original image is slightly more detailed. And the second image on that one is taking away that propeller. Okay, and then we're doing some jittering with the movement as well, hopefully, to imitate turbulence. Because planes don't fly straight without turbulence, or when there is turbulence. Wind resistance, you've got to kind of create that effect too, so that's what we're going to aim for. This is the same as this one, but it's 2A. Save that. And we better save this as well. So crop duster, invaders, green and gold. Clouds, not really there yet. And the green islands again, same. Right, I've changed that so it keeps asking me to save. Save, okay. Alright, I think we should just get the dark water out, the night time one version, and see how that looks. And maybe the dark clouds as well. Save for web. This is a 512 by 4200 on the high. So it does take a few seconds to load. And this is a really slow computer. There we go. Save that out, and that's the second version of that one. So instead of 1B, it's let's see. But we do need to do a 512 version of this as well, which will repeat eventually. But yeah, I did try this program on a computer with a quad-core processor. I'm actually working on a dual-core processor, 32-bit Windows. I tried it on a 64-bit Windows with a quad-core, and I'm getting completely different results. Everything moves a lot faster. I'm not sure if the updates and the ticks are faster, but they seem. Some of the things we've set on timers as well don't seem to work very well when you play them at different speed. We do want to move on to powers and bullets at some point, but and menu systems, but we'll get there. So that's the sea, the dark sea. So you can get these islands, these clouds. Wrong one. Okay. So there's one set of dark clouds. we're gonna have to make sure we know which is which. Save for web. Again, it's a large image, so bear with that. And save that out. So this is one of the versions of the clouds, but where did we put those? 1A. So these will be 2 and 2A. But I have no idea which is which. This could be the same pattern, it could be the opposite pattern. So 2 for that one. And switch one of these layers. And then the second set. Slightly different variation, but darker than the original set of clouds. Which might imply that the opacity will be less as well. In the sense, there'll be less see-through. So that's the second set of dark clouds. Remember, these are not being put on the screen at the same time as everything else we've got there at the moment. These are just alternatives to the originals, which goes into level design. You don't want every level to look the same. You want to wow the player at every opportunity. Lower level clouds 2A. Okay, save. Right, I think that's enough. Unless we want to do the islands, but we have to have these underneath. Yeah, I think that's the way it works. Yeah, those would be the second version of the islands. And it's very red around the outside, but let's send them out as well. Uh, um, of islands 2. Alright, that's enough for Photoshop for today, I think. Save. No, hit the wrong one. Save. And back in there. So we create these new sprites and we need to add them to our res folders. And there's some in there, and there's some in there. So let's figure these out. Uh, okay. All our class diagrams and that. On my slow computer loads. See if we can find them. In fader 2, 2A. I think we got those. 3, yeah, 4. These are all the invaders, I think. We need the player as well. Just crop this stuff. Just crop this stuff. Forward to a. So they're all the sprites when they finally load. Yeah, let's just copy those over. Paste. And back for the level. So our level was, find it, still loading, the dark C, level islands B, the B or 2, level islands 2, lower level clouds 2, 2A, and we didn't do anything with the waves. Alright, I think that should do. Copy that and paste into level. Alright, so we have a dark C now. It's on 1C, yeah. New level islands, lower clouds, dark version, lighter dark version, and I think that's it. We got the gold invaders and the green invaders. So moving on with the gold and green. Gold at the moment is using the same image, 2, and we should be using 3. So simple enough, just following the same naming convention, just changing those to 3. And then now that's these are golds, so these should be 4, and the green should be 3. Hold on one sec. Hate real world interruptions when I'm working. You can see how people get shot in offices. Oh, greens are 3. So a level background. Where is it set? In here. We have a level background image set to 1B, which is the daytime C, and we've got a 1C for nighttime. So level background image. And level background image 1. And that's C. And we need to create that as a field. And now we can use it instead of this one here, just to see how it looks. And we're gonna have to do something with the clouds here as well. Do an if statement. If it's level 2, then dark clouds. If it's level 1, and so on. We'll figure that out. Let's have a look at that so far. We should have different color invaders and a dark sea background. That's pretty cool. The islands are popping a bit more. The invaders are the right color. but these islands are a bit red around the outside. Still don't like that too much. But they're not even the dark versions either. The clouds look lovely, and the animations are from the green and the gold. As I was saying earlier, I want to set these up in a pattern before I start moving them. So let's go with golds. I believe they were on the left hand side, and we have to figure out some magic maths. My computer will stop falling asleep, be able to get on with it. So we've got these enemy gold rows here, but the y space 0 or y space 1 is not great enough, and they're setting enemies, so just close these sprites and level up rows, open the enemy up, and let's play with these variables for a minute or two. I believe we set them up in cell, and it's the 48 and the 25, so let's make that 58 and see what that does to the spread of invaders. Keep calling them invaders, sources. Now that's a better spread. They're no longer intersecting each other, and they've got at least a tiny distance between them. Now how we've got them set up here in a row of 3. For a circle we want another 2 either side of this one, and then 2 diagonally from that as well. But the spread between them might have to be greater to get that many around. And that shape can only be created with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if there's not 9, that can't be created, or 8 if you lose the center one. So basically what I'm saying is we need to set up different variations for numbers of invaders, probably depending on the attack. So I initiate in enemy red. We'll play with one that's static. We change the value here to increase the spread. So at the moment we've got the enemy gold rows, which is being set to set number of enemies. Gold rows. We'll be setting this setup in level. So when we set up level 1, we're setting level number of enemies to those variables, and the attack methods to those variables. But we need to somehow employ those. So I set number of enemies in level. Let's have a look at that. Because there is a real cool way that I figured out to design your level in comments. You'll find this quite brilliant. If I can just find it. Oh. So I'll set number of enemies in level. At the moment we're only setting the first 3 because we've only got red, green and gold and sources. We need the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more at least to finish that off, and that's 6 more classes and 6 more sprites. So we're not there yet, but I would start the comments off to design these arrangements of enemies. If you imagine that's the edge of the screen on the left hand side, Um, at the moment, we've got a set of what, 4 enemies, starting from the top. So we do each one of these as 2x2s, maybe a 4, another 2. So there's one of our enemies. We'll obviously have to do this a bit bigger. If I grab those. So is it 4? 3. 4. So our enemies are still stacked like that at the moment. I know they're not that close to the edge, but yeah. So you kind of carry on like that for the 5 and the 3 and design them. But we want to design circles and triangles, so we have to figure out how to draw them. And I think there's a way of doing it. But at the moment I'm a little lost. Let's have a look. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3, and 4. Okay, let's increase those a lot. See what 8, 6, and a 5 look like. The 8 will be the ones that are moving, and the red. Okay. The more we add, the more frames we lose. But we will compensate with that when we sort the background out. Could even turn off the clouds to get those back, but we'll sort this first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That'll be the 6 and the 5. I may not say 3, 6, 7 to make the circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the greens. So we say enemy green rows. Let's copy that. Do an if statement in the init of the greens. Have the for loop inside the if. We're probably going to duplicate this and just say if enemy green rows is less than 4, stack them like that. Or do we have to do an exact one? Let's see. I think the logic, so if less than 4, it can't create a square. So else if it does equal 4, create a square. Copy, paste. So now we need to create a square in this for loop. Copy. that should be equals 4. So if we're going to do 4 enemies, we need to create them in a square. I'm just trying to think how to do this. We're going to need 2 variables for the x and the y. Alright, so the first x is going to be its normal x. The second enemy created is going to be x plus the y space, I think. Which one did we change to get the spread? It's a level, isn't it? It was in the y space. Where were we? We changed the y space 0, an increase of 10, and that spread them out. This is the initial y space from the top, I believe, and that's why all the rows of enemies start where they are. This should be less, I think. If we start that at 5, you'll see they're closer to the top of the screen. It's still the same distance apart. There we go. We've now lost the greens because we told them only about if they're less than 4, if they're equal to 4. So going back to the greens there. If they are 4, we want them stacked in a square. And it was the x space 1 at 0 that deals with the space between the two. Every iteration of this is going to make one down on the y. We need to do if I is positive, do it down on the y. If it's negative, no, not positive. If it's even, the down on the y should be true. If it's odd, then the x on the y should be true. Alright, so how do we do it if I is odd? If I percentage 2 is equal to 0, which means it's even, do the y. Else do the x with the same sort of values. So we need to create this we should just create one e green, copy that, and then just update it. Do the same and just create another. Alright, so using the same e green every time. It's creating a new instance and it's adding them to the list. They've got a different ID, so they are separate entities. But if I is positive, even, then we want to change the y. If it's not even, negative, then we want to change the x. So let's change these here. We need to add these to the same here. Then we need a y. Alright, so the square should be just grab that, copy and add that to this one, see what the result is. That might get a bizarre result, but we need to set the enemy green rows to 4 to set that off. At the moment, if it's less than 4, then we get the old version. So enemy green rows, yeah, it's a level, and I believe it's the second one. It could be the third. Let's have a look what's green. One, two, three, four, five. Green is a 6, so we need to change that to a 4. And then it should turn up in a different position. Whether they're in the right position, that's the thing. And you really need to play around with these values and these for loops, creating these objects before you can figure it out. And there's no point in having them moving on the screen at that point. Alright, so almost correct. Almost 5 in a dice, is it? Alright, so it's hard to figure out which is the first and the third. This one's got too much of a Y on it. But we're almost getting the triangle shape I was talking about earlier, although it's rotated. So we need to stop this second one being a double Y. And enemy green is in here, the Y space times the I. We just want Y space 1 there, I think. Or instead of plus in the Y space 1, no Y space 1. And that might come up with a different result, but whether it's the right result, we'll have to wait and see. But it's definitely determining whether the I is positive, even or odd. Again, we've got the same result there. Why is that? The X. So let's take away the other one from the X. We took away Y space 1 there. So let's take away Y space 0 there. And just times it out. That's going to be way out, I think. Alright. I might deal with that other one. Our gold ones. Let's add a plus 50 now. When we create our gold ones, just to stagger them out a little. I don't know if they're going to spread apart or just be further down the screen, but it'll be one or the other. I think they'll just be further down the screen. Same distance. There we go. But I can't see that over green number 4, so plus 15 on the X too. Really is just a case of messing about with these numbers. Still can't see that green. It must be underneath one of these. Enemy green. Times I. Yeah, I think that's wrong. Should like 4, so I'm not really changing that value, which is ultimately 0, so I should just take that out. Not sure where that fourth one is, but yeah, okay. This bit's wrong here. Not sure on these. It should be x space times y on the positive one. Still only getting 3. Yeah, I think this should be up here. Maybe I've done that. See how that works. Alright, one of them's wrong. Yeah, much easier. These aren't moving at this point. Be much harder to see, so got kind of a circular motion now coming in there. That's could be one design pattern. Um, so every second one, everyone that's odd is on one x value that's got a different x value. But these are x values in relation to each other. That is the same direction from that one as that one. We need these two to forget about the y's really and have the same y value as that. How are we gonna do this? So it's the y that don't need changing twice. Copy that. Paste that there. We forget the y space 0. Let's try that. I think this y space 1 times y is wrong. Okay. We've got 3 overlaying each other there. That's not good. What was the original x? Y space 0 times I plus y space 1. Try that as a 0. Alright, first two are right, second two are wrong. So got the times I wrong on one of these somewhere. What is wrong? It's x or y's. Really is hard to tell. The first set of y's are almost correct. And the fourth one is way off. So that's going to be 0. So that's even. Then odd. So the first odd one's right. Then it's hard to tell which one's next, even or odd. What did I change there last time? Change that one. Maybe it was that one. Should have changed. No, not really getting anywhere. Okay. I want to have a look at G rotate, and I'm sure we used it in there with the waves and the render. G rotate. Can I open that up? Show Java docs. Navigate. Go to source. G2D rotate has got some sort of here we go. Got a rotate with a double argument, a rotate with a double, three double arguments. We want to check these out. I want to see where this code leads. These are all abstracts. So where are these actually done in? Graphics. Navigate, go to source again. Type sources, no, cancel. I just want to see the maps on that. What's wrong? Show Java doc. No, it's going to take ages to open up the map. Browser. I was hoping to see what the see if it's passing in one double there, which is maths pi over 4f in one case. Then it's adding that or times and that by the x and the y, I think. Let's try it. Where is the maths? Let's try using this. So to draw a circle, we'll need the radians. Adding to both of these, let's do it times. Gotta be an int, so let's cast that to an int. There we go. Put it in brackets. That showed it up. And do the same with the y here. Let's try that a second. That's the x on a circular motion. I forget we need to do the y as well. I've got one layered on top of each other now, that's crazy. It's because Brian did the x, so let's add the y. And again, we've got to cast it as an int. And we've got no errors, so let's try that. Again, that's not working well now. Let's take the X space out of that one. And we get them in the motion in a kind of circle there. Let's just create 4 of those and see where that gets us. And let's plus for the first space winner. On the X and the Y, and make that a different space. Let's see what we get out of that. Alright, we got a pattern, but the space is wrong, and the if it was to draw a circle, it'd be too big for what we're looking for. Let's change that to 7. We said for a circle limit. Back in level, enemy, and level. And set up level 1. And we want that as a 7. Let's try that. The greater number we add to it, the better we can see the pattern that's being created. Whether it's the right pattern at this point, I don't think so. And this is just long-winded testing, starting up and starting up. So we have got a pattern, but it's basically a Y across the screen, so an X across the screen. So the X is wrong, even with the gap between them. Greens. So what's the logic here? If X remains on the same one, they all go in a row downwards. We've done the maths for there, times I. And we times it by Y space 0 there. Let's try the 1 there. And try the 0 there. Let's see if that changes anything. Now I've got 7, and it should be the Y that changes more than the X on this one. Yeah, we now got the same sort of snake-like shape in the Y. But again, no circle on there, so we need some on the X as well to give it the same sort of space as the Y, and it might be times Y0. All this high-level maths is just beyond me. It really is, and it's not the best day for it, to tell you the truth. So now we have what looks like a diagonal spacing downwards, but also looks like it's 2 on the first X. Can we change this Y in any way? 150 down the screen, plus whatever that makes. Still can't really see them with that gold in the way there. Gold rose. X minus 150. So you can get them out the way, but again, pointless to start the movement at this point. These need to be right at the edge. How am I going to do that? Let's X gold set up in enemy. 370. That should just be 70. Back into X gold. Try that. Should be in line with the first player life, I believe. Yeah, it's the last player life, I think. Could probably do that as a 20. Just so they're not obstructing what we're doing with the greens. And the greens are still well off. I believe one's over there, one's way above there. So back in the greens, it's not 150. That's just to move it down the screen, isn't it? Try these with just the ones. Alright, so just the ones, we get a line in a diagonal fashion that way. And the space is off on the exits. Can we do a times here and a plus here? What do we get now? Disappearing sources. Turn that to a plus. Really do need to figure out maths pi. Still not there. Take those out. Try that. 150 plus y space 1 times maths pi shared by 4f times I. Should have gave up greater. If we do 2f then, what we do that? plus I times y space 0. I'll get it in a minute, it'll just click and everything will work, but bear with it till then. Now we're back to our original shape. This is crackers. Need a variation on the try this. Maths cosine. No, I don't want scale. I really just want the original variable. And times it by pi. 4x. See what that does to the x. I know I've got to use some sort of maths to figure it out. This is ridiculous getting into cosine, sine. So the x values at that point are all 0. I times all that. Should start with 0, then a number, then a greater number. None of the above. Is it y space 0 times I plus the x times the mass. Still getting 0. We need a system printer. Gotta be done. Got an idea what the value should be in certain cases. It's ridiculous. We need the x. Copy that. Then add the e green dot x. And we want the y, which needs a space there. New green x and y. And there's only 7 of them, so we'll get the x's and y's down there. But let's check this out. We're kind of working blind without these values, and just looking at the screen and hoping for the best. Here we go. So our x is all equal to 0 there. We've got the mass cosine. Let's take the mass cosine and pass that through to that part there. we got x space 0 times I plus the cosine of x times pi 4f. See what values we get from that. Now we have different values. What shape are they making? We need to do the same sort of thing with the y, but I'm assuming we're gonna need sine. So this is dx times the pi. And we don't really have a y, it's made up of y space times I plus y space 1. And that's adding to the y space 0, so try and do something with the y space 1 now. Close it off there, and so that's sine. And see if we get something different with the y there. I don't see any sort of pattern in the numbers, but not in this shape either. I'll put this wrong somewhere. What's this doing? Cosine, got a variable times the pi, got a variable times the pi, and again add into that variable times. Is that using the right one? Yeah. Try one. Alright. Turn that back to 0. And move this to replace this 150. Let's try that. Yeah, they're not going up and down as they're supposed to. You'd think with a sine they'd go the opposite way. Let's try minus times the pi. And for the y values, they're all different. All about the right space away, but we're all going down in a diagonal. We want them in a circle. And this means this is wrong, so try this here. Let's see without this. Zeros. That back. Yeah, completely lost on this code earlier. Okay, copy that in there. do that. Just trying to plug in different values. We really need to look at the output and see what we're getting. Which one is not spreading. The X is off the screen now. And that means the spread's too far, so take away the times are. I's not float. Try that. X is roll 270, I'm not changing. So I've not added the I. So it can't be plus on the I, it's gotta be times. So they should all be different now. 7 different values, depending on green X. And they're only a few pixels away from each other, so that's not good. On the X. Maybe that should be a times. Should be a plus. Again, so close to each other. But the Y is working. Alright, we got an arch. We're getting somewhere. That's because I added the pi instead of times in it. And that should be a 4 to be equal. All different values on the Y now, but the X is very similar. Alright. Needs to be greater on the X and short on the height. One and all. Let's swap that for Y space 0. That's the wrong one. Y space 1. I've got negative X's here. And the Y is all messed up. Somewhere off the screen. Wow. That was wrong, huh? Alright, let's try the fixing the Y. Alright, so we need to add the I inside this sim. And that should give us some sort of a pattern, because that's a very similar one to the X. I times Y space 1, which should be 0 on the first one, plus the mass, gives us a close Y and a close X. No circle. But the X is not moving there, so let's try Y spacer times. The Y is still same, pretty much the same. Oh, how annoying. Ace and ceiling. CBRT, long 10, min max. Random, round, sum, square root, about 10. Would that work? No idea what 10 is, just thought I'd try it. Just pulling up a draw math circle tool. Try and figure out some of this. My maths is terrible. And it's not 10 in there, so let's just change that back to where it was. Maths draw circle. X and Y. Oh, wait. Online tool. Free online geometric tool. Web math. Graph a circle. See, we need to graph a circle using maths. Here we go. X squared plus Y squared is how you draw a circle. Great. So X times X and Y times Y should be the what we're looking for, but I have a feeling that's not going to work. So we've got the X times I times X in the cosine. Try that. And the X is our variant. Not much. And the Y's are terrible. Just think if we can make a circle out of that variation, we can't really. Alright, so let's take out the cosine. Turn that into an and. We don't need to cast it as an int. Try that. The X is too far away now. It can't be X plus I times X. just x times r. What is x? 20. And the x is way off now. Too far apart. So we can do that. There's a share by 3. So I don't want to further that distance on the x. Looks a bit better, they're all on the screen. Okay. Let's do the same with the y. Get rid of these. Let the y's look wrong still. Alright. I've got our y's and our x's spread out. I'll be equal. How do we bring them back in at certain points? The sine and the cosine should be able to be used there. No idea how that works. Great. Right, still looking. See for 4. We need 4 to make a circle. And the first one, what we got here? So let's do this the easy way to start, and then we'll work out the maths afterwards. I equals 0, first one. I want to set that to halfway across the screen on the x. So looking at 300 minus half the width of the enemy, which is 64, so 32 of 300, say 268 should be the first one. Yeah, I've just gone into gold instead of green. 268. is the first X. First Y is going to be top of the screen. So we're looking at and that'll be the first enemy green. It's going to create 2 for the first one. Should be up there in the first one. Our first one is 0 and 58. Strange. Anyway, phi equals 1. Do that. And this one should be the same on the X. 268. But the Y should be the radius of our circle, twice away from the first. So we got 64-bit images and they're starting at 30. So the next one is going to be at least 94. We want a space in between that, so 94, 188 on the second one. Now give us a kind of radius of the circle we're looking for. It's still coming up with these oh, here we go. I'm not closed off the falling. Or I have, but I've not completed the number of rows. Yeah. So the add green has got nowhere to go at 2. Let's just put these on quick as I can. That's the code we need. And then we need one more. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we can turn that into a switch statement. Let's just work these out. So 3288 is the first 2. I'll need 2 more halfway between those 2, which is 158 difference. 75, 78 would be the next Y for both this one and this one. But the X would have to be 158 apart. 158 on that is 300, 418. that'll be the right hand side one. So 158 of this, it leaves that with 110. So the X on that will be 110. And just to see if those first four have turned up. Where did I create a green? Should be here. Well, it's got a problem with it there. Then it's got a problem with it there. Great. Here we go. Just to initialize it. That's just weird. Here we go. All this just to initialize it. So we're starting to get the four in a kind of a circular shape now. If I did another three of those at the bottom there, we'd have our circle. We just need to close it in then. And then we can have a formation. But how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the others need to be down here. Exactly opposite these. Twice the distance. No, same distance away. I'm getting lost there. We need 3 more this way, don't we? So from the center one, which has got the lowest y, or the greatest y, that needs to be the same distance away. 1 more down here. And then the other 2 need to be the same distance away from those 2. Alright, so we've got 3 more to create. Here's what I'm saying in short there. These last 6. So we've got the first 3 sorted out. First 4. It's just these to sort out now, and these are just covered with these at the moment, so we can't see them, but they do exist, I assure you. So let's figure this out. This is the center one. It's the one below it, which is actually the center of the circle. That'll be the top of the circle. We've got the left and the right. That'll be the right top, top right. Be top left. And now I'm gonna do the rest. So there needs to be a bottom of circle. And that has got to be the same distance away between these 2 on the y, which is 158. on top of that. Which makes that 2, 5, 8, 3, 38, 3, 46. 3, 4, 6 on that. And it's got the same X value. So that should be the fourth in the circle set. The bottom part of the circle. That'll be that one. Again, we need to shorten the distance between these, but we're getting there. We need the other two set up now. And this one is going to be, the right hand side one is going to be the same X. So bottom right, it's going to be at that X. That's the bottom of the circle. So this one's not going to be as far down the bottom right. It's going to be the same distance from the top circle to the top right, and the Y, which is 48. So 48 up from the bottom of the circle there is 298 on the Y. 298 there. And the bottom left copper will be on the same Y, but it'll be on the left X, which is 110. And that's the maths I was trying to get Java to figure out, and it couldn't do it to save its skin, so I had to do it for it. There we go. We now have a circle. Now, trouble with this circle is we have too great a distance between the Y in the top and the Y in the center, and the X of each of these as well. So let's work on that. So we've got the top. We need 1/3 of the distance between the two Y's there. So the top and the center. The top's 30. We got 158. And we only need a distance between the two of 1/3 of that, which is 52 and a bit. Call it 53. Which made that 83. So let's try that on 83. And now we'll just have to go through and work out the values again for the rest of them. 83 is a little tight. I'd go with 93 on that one. And see where that takes us. Yep, that's a perfect distance away, I would say. And then we can figure out the rest there, but I'm just going to pause it there. And we're back. Just figured out how to go 200 frames again. We wait till the backgrounds have all run out, and then it goes back up anyway. So, where were we? We've just changed that distance to 1/3. So obviously this one's got to follow suit. Let's do the X's first. So we need a top right. Moving in on the X. And these are the center ones. So distance between the center and this one should be 1/3 of what it is. Excuse me. And at the moment I think it's 158. No, just 150. So should really be 318. And there's another one down there on the X that should be 318 as well. Let's try that. Should be 2 set on the X. The X is off on that one. Alright, so we're probably looking at another 20 across, I think. So how did I get that wrong? It's 50. Maybe it should have been 60 or 58. Let's try that in 10 now. And 10 now. Oh, still not getting the same distance between the two on the X. But maybe that might be a decent pattern. Let's leave it there for now. This X is also on the right one. Let's bring these X in. So the difference between the center of the circle at 268 and the top of the circle at 268 was 60. So the center of the circle is 268. The one on the left hand side is going to be 208. So we're looking at 208 and 208. Let's have a look at that. And we're starting to get the right pattern now. If we had 4 and a certain attack formation, that would be perfect. If we had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that would be another perfect attack formation. I'm going to try and save that as it is 9, 2 separate ones, one for the 4, first 4, and then try and create a 9 out of it as well. If we ever get 9 enemies selected. So it's less than 4. Do that. Then we've got the out surface 7. Copy that. Out surface 9. Well, I've only got 6 on a 7. Oh, it's 0 to 6, that's why. So I need another 2L. That'll be 7 there. To get the 9. And we'll work out those other 2 in a minute. And let's do the 4. Stick the 4 in there. I did that one. 4. What is that? That needs coming up. Strange. Alright. Starting to build up a certain amount of patterns now. Moving on. Let's bring these in so you can see bar. So these shouldn't have been indented. I think that green needs to be in the for loop. Alright, so top, center, right, left. And that's all we need for 4. Top, center, right, left. So that can be the 4 formation. It's like half a diamond or something. So that's 0 to 3. We don't need the rest of those. But we do need to add it to the list. All 3, all 4. Alright, so if we go back into enemy, so level, change that to a 4. Got the perfect formation for a 4. If we can get that. Three to the front and an arc, and then 1 back up. That could be 1 formation for 4 green invaders, or 4 invaders with attack 0 perhaps. And we could have a different formation for 4 for attack 1 and do it that way. But these will be flying down the screen firing bullets at the little crop duster, so should be some fun. But there's 4 set up. What do we do now? We need a 9, don't we? Yeah, you could have the 4 that way in one attack method and the reverse in another. Just by moving the Y's on these 2. This center Y is very near these right and left ones. If we change the distance between those 2 to make it a distance between that one and these 2, then that'll make a different shape of 4, different kind of attack. And we can alternate between the 2 now. That'd be great. So the 9, we need Need to move these three up about. Then we need another two in the center, I think. What's that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So doubling this code here to the top and the center, and just moving those two down. So over to enemy green 9, and 2 in the center. Need to double these up. We need to do it on some that don't have it already. So it's the Y's we're gonna have to change, but the X's will be the same. And the top circle and the center circle are fine. The right and the left top are fine. And the bottom circle needs moving up. Bottom right and the bottom left. Where's bottom left? Oh. Alright, let's figure this out. Top, center, right, left, they're fine. Then we gotta go top and the center are 60 apart. So we need 60 on this center one, which is 153 on the Y. For one of these, 153. And that'll be a 268. Completely different sort of pattern I'm looking for here. This will be mid center one. And this should be in line with the top and the center. Just like that. I'll do one more here and move these three up. So this is bottom left, bottom and bottom right. And I've lost where it was. Alright, mid center. What did I say it was? 60. 2, 13. 2, 1, 3. And again 2, 6, 8. Just hope I've not messed up the wrong one. Nope, that's fine. Now we just need these moving up in the Y about 30. So that's bottom, bottom left, bottom right. And the bottom of the circle is here. Move that up 30. And the rest can follow suit. And that could be a alien kind of shape of its own, couldn't really? Looks a bit like the bird. Alright, I'm happy with that formation for 9. Attack 0. That could work. Got 3 attackers up front. Large amount of defense, and then the backup, which is just as strong as the attack. Yeah, that could work. So we got a 9, we got a 4, and these are attack 0s. This is going to be fun because you can imagine there's going to be quite a few attacks, and they'll all lead to different formation at different time methods. But yeah, they're going to take hours to program later. So we've got a 9. We're still working on a 7 moment. So back into level, change that to a 7. So we were still moving these up, weren't we? So we're looking at about 50 on the Y of each of these bottom ones. Back in enemy green, 7, and the bottom right and bottom left. Which one's which? That was left. Alright, so the Y's. At the moment we've got a 30, 78 and a 93. So these will be the left and right. Yep. And they're at 78. Center one's at 93. One above that is 60 away, so we're looking at 153 for the bottom one. 1, 5, 3. I'm going to do polygons for 5s. That one's in the center, that's fine. Now we just need these moving up the same space from these. And I believe that's 60, so whatever the Y is on these top ones needs to be 60 away. So there's 78, 60 on them is 138. So last two 138. Now notice some maths, you can sort that straight out. We'll figure it out. These Y's are all 60 away and these are all 60 away, then we just need to start them off right and then we can take them back into the for loops and work out the maths. But just do them in a static way to start with, make it really, really simple. My brain knows at this point. Hooray, nearly there. Now we have a problem. The Y's on the ones on the right and left need moving back 10 each. So in the wrong place. But these ones in the center are perfect. So left and right. 78, we're gonna make these 68. 138, we're gonna make these 128. See what we got with that. Almost a perfect circle. The gap between the two here is less than the gap between the two here, so we still need to move up a touch. But it's almost there. Maybe 5 pixels up. Give it 8. 0 on 0 on that. And 0 these out as well. And if it's too much, then we can just start adding 2 at a time to each. Getting there, but now the gap between these two is off. This one looks smaller than this one, I think. Or is it just my eyes because I've been staring at the screen for so long? I'm going to say that's a perfect circular formation for a set of sources. Pretty cool. We can, when we move them, we can have them separate out in their relative directions away from the center one and keep firing until they get blown up. But there's 7. Attack formation 0. Alright, so get in there, get in there. We need a 6, we need an 8, we need a 5. The 5s we're gonna do polygons. So it's gonna be similar to this, without these two here. So we'll just go ahead and copy that down and remove them and spread these out a touch. Alright, so we need to get a 5. That's the out surf, isn't it? And we can throw that in there. And these have only got 5. And I'm trying to think which ones we don't need. Top and center we need. Wow, this is confusing. It's still on 7 all. Alright, so I said we don't need the top and the center for the 5. So that's these values we don't need. Move these up. I shouldn't have done that, should I? Now these are going to be top right, circle, and top left, circle. We've got them twice, so we don't need that. Bottom of the circle. We do need that, that's the point. Bottom right. And the bottom left. Trying to find this is supposed to go out. And these two shouldn't exist. Alright. These are wrong, but let's figure this out. Give it a 5. So the sort of thing I was looking for, horseshoe. So horseshoe attack formation. These bottom two can go to the left and the right a touch. But yeah, I'm happy with that horseshoe. And they're the ones with the least Y. The 60s. So these need spreading out. I'm going to put 10 on that. On the right. I'm going to take away 10 off that. On the left. Let's have a look. almost. What would make that more of a horseshoe? I doubling that. So that's a 4, and that's an 8. And we might need to spread these other two out as well. Slider. Alright, kind of. I think we need to bring the X's in on these a touch. Let's try that. So the 120s. Bring these in 8 on the right. And then 8 on that side, 16. Gotta love drawing with maths, it takes hours. The Y on these is a bit off. And that X is what I just put in was wrong. Try bringing these down 10. Probably overlap, but still. Let's make a steeper curve on the front. We're just going to go back to the polygon. I don't like the way this is coming out. So these need lining up with these two and moving further up. So that's the X value we're looking at there, isn't it? So that's 28 and a 208. 28 and a 208. But we need these moving up. So I'm going to put them at 50. See if that works. We probably have to move the center one down just to make more of a spike. But we're looking for a polygon sort of set. Yeah, polygon's not really there. These two need moving out a touch to give it more of that diamond shape. Or we can move these two in a touch to give it the same effect. So zero that out and give that a 180. And we should have our polygon. I went the wrong way with one of them. The one on I should have added it instead of taking it away. It's the one with the least X. So it's that one. It should have been 28. We have our polygon attack shape. Perfect formation. Very similar to the 6, but without the centerpiece. So polygon formation. I have to write all these down. It's gonna get confusing. Um, Dog 0. Do it something like that, and then we can figure out what the different shapes are along the way. So 7. Can't remember what this was. It's definitely 7 and a 0. What is that polygon? We need to change it now. 7 back to enemy green. Got out diamond formation. It's like a diamond ring, that close to a diamond. Alright. And we clearly don't need these lines of code, because we know maths. Alright. The 9. Uh, Arrow defense. The arrow, and it's got a defense. Reverse arrow defense, because we could always turn it around, couldn't we? Reverse arrow defense. And for reverse arrow attack, we could turn around the front 3. Turn those around. Basically just move that one backwards and then move all 3 forwards. If that makes any sense. Remember, these aren't going to start on the screen here. They're going to be flying in from the top of the screen in different directions, because the moves aren't all going to be straight. Each group will probably follow the same move formation, whatever it may be, but each of the other groups will follow a different formation and a different move. Alright, so I like this arrow shape here, and that's taking the 6. So I think we should just copy that over. Get rid of the 3 at the bottom. So it's a reverse arrow defense formation. Now it'll just be reverse arrow with the 6. So put 9 in here. get started on the 6th. Alright. So the 6th, we need the reverse arrow, but we don't need the defense bit at the front. And that's going to be the first 3 or the bottom. So we've got a Y, Y, that'll be mid-center 1. That'll be mid-center 2. So I think it's these 2 at the bottom we don't need. Or is it these 3 at the bottom we don't need? Or that code though. Let's try that. Almost. We got rid of one of the ones that was wrong. Center 1 instead of the bottom 1. So let's undo that bit. Right, center 1 would be on the right X. Center of the circle would be 268. So it's that one we shouldn't get rid of. Let's have a look at these and that. That's top center for on the Y. 268 is the center point. 268, that's the center of the circle. We've got the right of the circle, which is 28, which is actually the right of the arrow. Draw these are supposed to be center of arrow. Top of arrow. So we've got the point of the arrow, then the center piece of the arrow, the right and left of the arrow, the bottom of the arrow, and then we need to keep that one as well, but that one's wrong. We've got a 153238, and then there's a 36 there. I think we need to get rid of that. Alright, see what we've got so far. Need to get rid of the one with the lowest Y, which is still in the 6. But then we need the one that's missing from there, which is one of these going to have a Y between the 2 of these. So let's see, mid-center, it's got a Y of 153, and then I think we're getting the 6 out. Zero to 6, yeah. But this one's got the least Y, so that needs changing. Bottom of the circle should be that. Let's try that. Perfect. So we get rid of the ones that we don't need. Bottom two, the rest are showing. So I think it's 0 to 6. We get rid of 7 and 8. Thinking it might be 0 to 5. Try that. We have a reverse arrow formation. And we could start there with the second attack and the 6. Right, I've missed a bit of the for loop, so I'll copy that. So if the attack's 1, we do that arrow formation or red arrow formation, we'll call it, which is forward down the screen. But only if it's attack 1, which means we need to change the right and left of the arrows to be the same distance away from the top arrows, which is 48, away from the bottom, which is 48. So that's 50, 61, 261 on these. We'll call it 260. See where that gets us. Alright, what is going wrong here? Got 2 more on the screen than needed. Right, we'll move these 2. We're still rendering out the original ones because I haven't put the attack bit in yet. But that means that we've only moved these 2. We need to move, how do we do this? We could just change these to move them back a bit. So 20 up on the same 2. Hit these 4. Still not there. Over 20, maybe another 4. Let's make these 200. Save time. Almost there. Another 10, I think. Maybe less. That's where are we? Yeah, 19. And they should show up. Still a tiny bit more to get them the same shape as that. try 8, just made that, 82. We'll figure out how to do this dynamically afterwards. It's just a case of adding a number to the original. Why do they look so different? Is that and that is not the same as that and that by the looks of it. But I'm not going to complain that much. These are actually closer on the Y to this than these are to this one, so I'm going to move them down a touch further. But we might need to move it up a touch, I don't know. And gonna go for 82, 78. Just see if that makes a difference. Yeah, that seems to make all the difference, that's fine. So we've got an arrow shape facing this way now. Now we need to fix this attack. So we're gonna have to do if statements inside here. Just simply if attack equals 0, do that. And if attack equals 1, do that. Alright, but it's not attack, it is enemy. Green attack, copper. Do that way. And do that. Alright, so the logic if is if the attack mode is set to 1 and use this red arrow forward formation. If there's 9 rows and it's attack 1. Oh, it's 6 rows. Oops. If it's 6 rows and attack 1. And if it's 6 rows and attack 0, do the reverse arrow formation. There's some logic. But they both can't equal 1, so that has to equal 0. But, getting ahead of myself there. We're setting the number of enemies before we set the attack, so we need to change the order of magnitude there and figure out what the attacks are first, then set the numbers. Because it's the numbers that the enemy classes work from first. Sorry, work from first before they determine what formation of attack that number of enemies can form. And there'll be different shapes for each one, but limited. But it don't mean you can't rotate the design. Yeah, so set our attack first when we set up level 1. It's going to go attack formation 1 on enemy green 6, I believe. 6. Here we go. forward arrow facing downwards. There we go. And these will all be firing bullets, green laser bullets at the plane. Alright, we haven't set up plane animation up and we did that earlier. I think I should do that after I've shown you this attack. If we change the attack here to 0, should be the reverse arrow formation. We got a reverse arrow formation just by changing the 0 to a 1. So that's powerful programming. Yeah. Back to that formation. And if I change it down there, what numbers have we actually programmed so far? Less than 4. So if we did a 3, that should come up in the original straight line. There's only 3 of them. Yeah. And they could come in from any X variable at the top of the screen and move in any direction independently when we figure out movement. We're just figuring out patterns at the moment. And because there's 3 there, we could randomize it, whether it's 3 stretched across the Y and 3 stretched across the X. And the same with 2s and 1. Well, I can't do anything with the 1s, it's just the 1. But yeah, we'll have to do a 1. We will. Just to fire it in at random, along with the patterns. As if it got lost. Yeah, that would be great. I'm going to sort this plane animation out, and then I'm going to come back to these patterns afterwards. So, back into our player class. And I might do something with the movement as well. So it's a bit clunky at the moment. We've got 2 images, player image and player lives image. But there's also a player image 2. We was using the invaders in here earlier for testing purposes. We no longer need to do that because we have enemy classes we can do that in. So it's going to be player image 0. And it's going to be a different version of the same file, sprite. We have 2 different versions there. And we need to plug those in. And that's going to be 2, and this is 2A. Oops. Just grab that. 2A. Create the field. Save. And go to render. So we've drawn our image P1 now. And we're deciding what image P1 here is. So, not going to employ suits at this point, but just to show some sort of animation, let's just comment now instead of, because we'll need that bit later, I think. Just gonna say if system dot current should I 150 percentage 15 equals 0, then player 1 image equals the original player, which we've just updated to the 128 version with the propeller straight or horizontal. And then the second image is the 128 with the propeller vertical. So need an else. Copy and paste number 1 there. I thought I created that. And 0, didn't I? Save. So if it's not this current milliseconds time equals 0, then it's going to be this image. If not, it's that one. Then we'll play with these values while this is ticking. And we should have a increased resolution plane, more higher definition graphics, more resources. Wow, that looks perfect. Yeah, the timing of the propeller needs to increase, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, our movement is still slow at 20 a second, but can we get that plane over some light so we can see that propeller? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Could probably do 3 images for the rotate and have it slightly at an angle, which should just be, instead of vertical, you know, slightly longer in width. Yeah, it's just a line of pixels, really, that's all it is. But yeah, there's our new plane updated from a 128 image, and we're still able to fly over these sources, invaders, whatever you want to call them. We'll have to do some sort of loop-to-loop animation with that. That looks pretty cool. But yeah, we've got our animation. Let's try and speed it up. Just made that 15, 15. Then it should really not be 0. Should really just use random. Alright, that seems to work okay. I'm going to take this and put it in render. And in our image here, I'm going to create some turbulence. And just say else. It's not that. Render the same image. Just add 2 minus 2 to the position. So it shakes about a bit. Let's have a look. You don't want it shaking about too much though. The pilot's going to crash, but you do want some sort of movement on it. See, that's too much. And the speed's a bit too fast as well. So do 1 on that. Maybe a 1 on that too. Maybe may not even need the Y or may not need the DX. No, it looks too much like a heartbeat. We need to change the X's really and the Y's of the player to doubles to make it more smoother, and then we can do things like add turbulence to it. It's at 2 and at 25. I don't think that'll make much difference. We need to change these X values. Yeah, that's terrible. I don't really like the way this moves either. It's not very smooth. Alright, so X there, and X and Y there. So let's just copy these down and make a double and a double. Use a DX, DY. Alright, now we need to set these. Go back. In tick. Gonna change all this. Gonna say X plus equals DX. Y plus equals dy all the time. And then we're gonna make these dx on the move left, dx on the move right, dy on the move down, and dy on the move up. So they're always going to be added. Don't need one that is firing. Do need them on the mass speed. Move right and left with the mass. Don't need them on the fire. Wanna have to set these lines here. Make dx. Is this right? Equals 0. Dy equals 0. But before we do that, we want to set them, and we can't set them up here because they're getting set in here. We need to copy this down to the bottom. Set that so x and y is always the dx and dy is being set. And then it's being reset before it's set again. Because if we're not pressing up, right, left or down, we don't want it added. Again, so let's try that. got a different move now based on a double. Still got a little gel. Yeah, that's slightly smoother movement. Yeah, see if we can sort of jitter out with the double um, player, isn't it? And the render. That's 0.5 minus 0.5. Customers in them. Gotta put them in brackets. Try that. Slightly smooth on it. We try 0.2. 0.5 might be rounding up to 1. More maps, great. Um, Trying to figure out how this works. We got an X and a Y and we want to change it. Turbulence, add turbulence, minus turbulence. It's probably going to make it an int, so I'll change that, but minus turbulence. So occasionally a turbulence will affect the plane, but occasionally it won't. But we need to spread this out, so occasionally it's more turbulent than other times. So this turbulent needs to be a double. Let's put it in as n. So that's made out double, and we'll start off with the turbulence being equal to 0.35, 0.35, and then we're going to vary that. In the tick, so every time it comes in here, and plus equals 0.15. And then we probably want to minus. See how that works out? Reckons we got an out. No. Alright, so it's a bit too turbulent, but we're getting the idea. It's the sort of effect I was looking for. Let's put a 0 on these. I think 0.35 at the top is too much as well. Not too bad. Could be a bit smoother. Try not. This is just really added effect aesthetics for the player to become more immersed in flying the plane. That's not too bad. It looks a little jittery, don't it? That's almost comical, man. Fuck it hell. I like that. That is a really good look. So yeah, we can have an option for turbulence on, terrible turbulence, and no turbulence, or normal turbulence like this. Yeah, great effect. Really does look kind of classic. Maybe even the 115. Maybe that's even a bit too much turbulence. Let's just play around with this a minute. Mid-turbulence. Oh, alright, okay. So low is just gonna add another 0. High is gonna take one off. And you're gonna have to do the same at the bottom here. So that's mid-turbulence. And we need one for low and high. We're the same sort of values. Alright, but we can't have them all set at the same time, so turn off the mid, turn off the high, and do the same down there. Then at least we got these values set for next time. If they're right, we'll figure out how to turn on turbulence. We might just do it with a random during the level there might be a more turbulent level than others, just to add immersiveness to the player character, but could also add difficulty to the way it moves as well. That's still slightly off, isn't it? I think the distance the plane is moving to the left and the right is fine, and the up and down is fine. I just think it's doing it too often, which is in the render. Try 20. Shouldn't be turbulent all the time, or it should be turbulent for a longer period of time than it has been. So that's too slow. 8 out of 10. That could work. Yeah, looks pretty close to me with some low turbulence. We could even add that turbulence in the we're still switching the player here, aren't we? I don't know if we should confuse the two. No, we're not flipping the player here. I think we should always add the turbulence. But sometimes turn it off instead of having it one or the other. Just somehow reset it. Yeah, we could have a turbulence equals 0. After the dy. Try that. It's barely turbulent now, is it? I don't think that turbulence is working at all now. Yeah, it's still moving a touch. It's very hard to tell. Try on mid turbulence, see if see if it is done. Alright, so that was low turbulence. When we reset the turbulence to 0 every tick, sometimes it seems to catch it, sometimes it don't. But it's definitely switching the image. Yeah, in tick. In the same place as the turbulence. So this is mid turbulence. Should be able to see it slightly more. No, I don't think that's working. Not at all. No. Okay. So comment the turbulence like that. Supposed to be medium turbulence. Try high turbulence. It's never being reset at turbulence, isn't so? There's a problem with it. Yeah, it's not happening very much at all. Yeah, that's sort of effect we're looking for. Just more frequently. I'm not sure how we're gonna increase these values without causing more disturbance. So we need another one of these. Copy. But we don't want to set the player image in the same place. We want to do that separate from the turbulence timing. And then in here we don't want to set the player image, just the turbulence. And we're going to set that to 150 and 20, I think it was. And that should be high turbulence at different speed to the image switch, which should eventually be an animation. So we'll get rid of this this timer. This is supposed to be high turbulence. It's not happening fast enough. What were the values we were using now? 25 and 10. Try to wanna. Not too bad. Still needs a bit faster. Um, minute two. See if that's really fast. That should be every other tip. Almost. That's almost never, I think. So that should be a 10. Let's try that. Yeah, still not as frequent as it should be. No, I can't figure these times out. It's not too bad. Somebody could mess with the eye. Yeah, I just hope it doesn't interfere with the movement when we get our frames per second back up. But yeah, okay. I think I'll call it a day on that one. I don't think it's 1:49. I think it's at least 3 hours on that. But yeah, there's our game so far. We've got some new sprites in with the game character, and we're starting to make attack formations with our enemies before we complete the movement on it, or at least make some progress on the movement. Yeah, I'm happy with that. We've added turbulence, and we're using the dark sea, I believe. We just checked that. Level background. Image and image one, yeah, we're using the dark one. So have a look at these clouds. Make some more lower clouds dark and dark one. And see if we can find these in there. 2 and 2A. 2, 2A. create those as fields. And try and find them in here. Right, these are going to be dark images. We just copy that line of code because we're going to use both at some point. Oops. And dark. And just comment those out for a second because we're going to need composite set into a different alpha. I think the lower level clouds alpha and clouds 1 alpha are going to be different for the dark clouds. So we're going to have a lower level dark clouds alpha and lower level dark clouds 1 alpha. It's what I'm saying now. Where are the dark clouds? We only got one layer. Right, we need to switch the alpha, I think. We'll find out while we've only got one layer of dark. 2 and 2A. No, 2A is not dark. 2 is dark. 2A is light. Only slightly darker. Okay. I think we need the increase on the alpha. Is like 0.35 on there. So this one would need a greater. Plus 0.12 F for one of them. I think that's the lighter color, dark clouds. That will be these ones here, yeah. And then we'll probably double these ones up. On these dark clouds. Yeah, kind of getting that. Maybe triple them. 4 times the alpha. Not bad. It may be a little much. What happens if we double that one? not bad. We still needed Dark Islands employee in there, right? Speaking of which, I have some ready, I think. I don't know if we, we're doing Bevel Islands too. So the new alphas we're gonna need is ×2 and ×4 on the Dark Clouds. But the Level Islands. Well, and that's a 2. I think we just got to create the field. Cool. Let's have a look at these clouds with that dark background. Not too bad. Don't like the red on the outside of these islands. I'll have to sort that out. But the clouds look fine. Yeah, that sort of opacity is cool for storm clouds. Quite thick and you can't see through them. And don't forget we're planning on having another layer of clouds on top, so probably not as thick, but we'll figure that out. But that's the game as it stands in part 8. I've updated the player character, worked on the enemies and their attack formations. We've updated the background with a nighttime sea flavor and added dark islands and storm clouds. So really beginning to build on the aesthetics and the game mechanics, I guess, with the enemies in this session. I hope you enjoyed. I had fun doing all that. But now I'm knackered, so I'm off. So you rewind and start typing, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time. Bullets. Need some bullets.